What's good, everybody? Just wanted to give it a couple seconds, let everybody else jump onto the initial session. Hopefully we get a bunch of more people on here so that way everybody or nobody is missing out on any analysis. So hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Hopefully everybody stood safe, enjoyed their friends, enjoyed their family. But now it's the start of a new trade week, so we want to make sure that we're starting it off right, and we're going to mark up charts, look for trade opportunities. Really, again, I want to make sure that I'm educating and helping you guys understand how to trade much better, so that way you guys can be excuse me. So that way you guys can be very consistently profitable even on your own. Everything that we do here on these calls, if this is your first time ever on a session with me, if this is the first time you've ever seen this, I like to make sure that I'm educating. I really want to make sure that you guys are understanding everything. So the trading and the markups that I do here with you guys is exactly what I do here in my Discord as well. As you see here, we're always talking about analysis. I'm always making sure that I send up signals for students with charts and everything as well. So everything that we do here on this session is going to be reflected in a real trading manner. So you guys will be able to obviously mimic and duplicate some of the things that we do here. So that way you guys have your own success. So before we begin, if you guys can just do me one quick favor, it really does help. I've been seeing a lot of growth of the channel, and it's because of you guys. So I definitely want to say I'm grateful and I definitely appreciate it. So if you guys can, I'm giving you guys a lot of education. Excuse me. Just help me out, like this video. It really does help. Again, I want to build a community based off of just pure value, education, and actual profit. So if you guys could do me that one quick favor before we begin, that would be great. And we'll start answering any and all questions. My man, what's good, bro? I love to see you on here all the time. It's actually really good to see people, like, I wouldn't say returning customers because that sounds terrible, but like returning students, people who are constantly on these calls. It's really good to see your faces all the time because I know that this is doing you some good if you continue to come back. So thank you for being on again, bro. So real quick, there is a delay as well. Excuse me, I lost my voice over the weekend, so I apologize. We went crazy this weekend. But if there is a delay on the stream, so I do apologize if it seems like I'm answering your question a little bit too late. It's just like it's like 15 to 20 seconds, I think. So I do apologize on that. But if you guys have any questions, if there's a specific market that you would like for me to take a look at, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. I am taking a look and paying attention so that way I can help you guys and speak on things that are relevant to you. Again, I want to make sure that I'm helping, so it's really good that I'm understanding what it is that you guys need help with. What's good, LA? What's good, Adams? I appreciate you being back on as well. I appreciate you hitting me up this morning too. But yeah, any questions, any specific markets you guys would like for me to take a look at, I definitely will. Right now, I'm just on gold. I usually start with gold, but it is a bank holiday today for the U.S. It is Martin Luther King Day. So the U.S. dollar is going to be pretty, I wouldn't say weak, but the lack of volatility in the U.S. market will be there, right, because of the bank holiday itself. So we probably won't see too much movement with the U.S. dollar until tomorrow morning or anytime during this week. Them Giants won. You've been screaming, yo, was I? I lost my mind when they won because since I'm a huge Giants fan, seeing how we just got into the playoffs with a new head coach and everything like that, yeah, I think everybody was screaming off the top of their lungs at the spot that we was at. But yeah, anything you guys got? If not, I'll take a look at some charts that I usually go for. I usually start with gold, but I'll start with something different this time just so that way we can mix it up. Give us the best opportunity. You would want that, but this is the thing. So I'm not here to give you the opportunity. I'm here to create it for you, right? So meaning I want you to be the opportunity. I want you to be able to find these things out. So I'm just here to educate. I'm not here to make you, I will make you money in the sense of identifying potential opportunities, but it's hard for me to say, yeah, I know exactly what we're doing. You have to actually look, right? That's the biggest thing. If you want the answers to the test, you still have to study. Right? You still have to be able to do this on your own. So obviously I'm going to help you understand that. That's the biggest thing. I'm trying to help you guys be self-sufficient. Being able to place your own trades helps you make more money because how many times, I did it too. When I first started coming into like the trading market, I had no idea what trading was. I think the first month I started taking signals, right? And I was taking signals blindly. I had no idea the analysis behind it. I was losing so much money. So you don't feel confident with other people's trades because you don't know what the analysis is. You don't know if it's even going to be profitable. But when you're able to identify your own opportunity, your own trade, that's when things become a lot better because I wouldn't say you risk more, but you feel more confident placing a bigger lot size to make more money. That's the biggest thing I want you to understand, for everybody rather, because signals are cool, right? I send signals out to my students and I make sure that it's actually called big lot size signals because obviously these are, I'm not saying this to sound cocky, but these are my personal trades. So I feel confident behind those, and I feel confident that they'll be profitable for students. But I want you to understand, nobody's going to make you more money than yourself. We've been waiting. We've been waiting. You long check it. Gold and GJ. I'll take a look at GJ first, and I know we're on gold now, but we'll come back to that because I want to do something different this morning. Oh wow, I can't spell. Gbpjpy. All right, so here's the thing. What do you think about this market right now? Because I know that you were saying you were in previous buys in this market, but what can you tell me so far since you've been on my sessions and so since you've been on my calls? You kind of have an idea of what to look for, right? What can you tell me? I'm hoping I'm saying your name right, Muhammad. I'm not Salahuddin. If I'm saying that right, let me know just so that way, because I don't ever want to disrespect anybody's name. That's just like a respect thing for me. How is the auto trader doing? I'm thinking about investing into it if it's still possible. You can hit me up after that, bro. I just want to make sure that I'm educating. Send me a direct message, bro. I got you. I definitely got you. Muhammad, what can you tell me so far, right? I want to know if you can identify a few characteristics of this market, because I know that before we were looking at this as a what? Bearish market. It's selling. You can see if I scale out to a higher time frame, being the daily, we can see from these previous highs to these lows that this market has been selling, right? But if we look left to get right, to understand fully what we're looking at, what can you tell me? It's really important that we look left to get right. What can we identify? I'm just going to put this right here. We're going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to put this line right here. I know that the market has broken lower and came to that point before, but we're looking at the current standpoint, right? We can tell that we are at what we like to consider a PRZ. What is that, everybody? A potential reversal zone. So we're going to put PRZ. And I say potential because nothing within the market is 100%, right? We have to make sure that we're identifying the opportunities that are in front of us, but they're not like guaranteed. So we have to make sure that we're understanding, okay, well, one, I know that I'm at a level of support. We have to understand that. Even though we're in a bearish market, we're creating lower highs and lower lows, but we have to understand that at certain price points, there can be a reversal. This is the potential area for that. Exactly, my brother, you're right. Okay, so I'm just making sure you got me. So you can see that since we're at this PRZ zone, that can give us the idea that the market can do what? Reverse. I mean, it says PRZ, potential reversal zone. It is a level of support, just a fancy way of saying support, where the market can find a different direction. Now, can this level of structure be broken? Absolutely. We're still very much in a seller's market. This does not need to be respected. It can just crash lower and reach our other level of structure, which is over here. So we'll mark this up just for the sake of education, but I wouldn't have this on my chart like the whole time, because this isn't important to me right now. Unless this is broken, then I'd identify this, but we'll just mark it up for the education aspect. This can in fact be broken without a doubt, but we're going to do this. PRZ. If respected, we have a strong case for buys. Right? Let me see in the sell market. You can call me Salah, brother, or Muhammad. Okay, perfect. I want to make sure I'm saying it right, so I'll say Salah. So I'm making sure that I understand the level of structure I'm at, because even though we're at a seller's market or bearish market, just like you said, we can understand that we are at this price point that could make this market reverse. Now, if you're wondering, well, how can I tell that this market will reverse here? Well, look at that. When it came down, I mean, I know, again, it did drop lower, but it couldn't really close, and I'm not going to draw my zone that big, but it couldn't really close below the level of structure here. I mean, it did, but it came right back within that point. Same thing here. When the market broke above this point, you're never getting a weak break of structure. You're always going to have a strong break of structure. This is a strong break. And as soon as it came back to retest that point almost perfectly, it rejected off of it. So we have to dictate or say this is a level for strong buys. Indication will be wicks and patterns at that level. Exactly. You're absolutely correct. When you start identifying the behavior of candlesticks, right? Because that's a big factor. The characteristics of candlesticks at levels of specific structure is what's going to help indicate whether or not this is going to be an actual reversal, and also market patterns. What could this be considered? What can we call this? I'll get rid of the zone really fast. This would be considered a double bottom, right? We can see that the market has respected the structure point. I know it doesn't look perfect. I know like on the daily it looks a little bit better. But on the 4 hour, you can still dictate this as a double top. So in order for us to consider this a real double top, these highs here need to be broken. So I'll just do this. These highs must be broken in order to confirm strong buys. Now, can we buy from this point? Absolutely. I wouldn't say that there's anything against from trying to buy from these initial lows, but I would allow this to give you that real idea, because this could be the impulsive move to the downside. This could be a minor correction before it actually breaks down lower. So that's why it's always important to allow the market to develop and really show you what it wants to do. But I mean, at this low, and Salah, I remember when you said that you were buying this, I said cut your loss, right? Because it's going to continue to push down to a specific level of price. This was that price. This was that level of structure, that support that I said, if it's going to go anywhere, if it's going to continue and respect a price point, it'll be at these lows. We're starting to develop that idea, right? Because it came crashing down. But as soon as it reached this price point, what did it do? It stopped selling and it gave us a correction, because we can't call this a reversal yet. It's not creating any high points. It's not even giving us any real strong buying indication. It looks like just the 23.6, if that is hit. I don't even think, oh, it did get hit. Okay. So just the 23.6, right? And if anybody's trying to say, well, is a 23.6 a valid level? Absolutely, right? It doesn't, the 23.6, I mean, I use all fib ratios, because if there's structure along there, if there's confluence and a fib ratio, I'm going to look for an entry there. This right here, the 23.6, could be the possible ratio that's respected before this wants to continue to push lower. So in my personal opinion, I would think that you, if anything, GJ, I'll get rid of this because I'm not looking for sells on this, so that way I don't confuse anybody. If we get this, if this market breaks below this and creates a new low, there is absolutely no buys. But again, if this is respected, we start to see candles really bouncing off of this range, showing us bullish variant candles such as bullish engulfings, right? If you can go ahead and identify that, I'd start looking for some buys from this point, from where we are here, to at least these highs. So that is the opportunity I would think that you should go for, Salah. I know you were asking for the best opportunity. That's your best opportunity. And I told you, did you cut those buys that you had, Salah? I hope so. If you cut those buys, perfect. I think now, if you are going to be looking for buys, this is your area for it. But allow the market to come back down if it can, right? Even if we scale down to a smaller time frame, being the 1 hour, even here, I would say, because it's kind of created some structure here. So even if the market from here comes back down, I would even say that gives you, so you have 2 points. This could be your aggressive buy, and then this could be your conservative buy. Reason being is because, and I call this aggressive and conservative because obviously the risk to reward, if we were to do something like this, if we were to go ahead and buy from this point, our stop loss would have to go to these lows. That's about 80 pips. But on our conservative buy, you see how that gets a little bit more, I would say, risk to reward is more in your favor. This would be maybe a 20 pip stop loss instead of an 80, and your targets would also extend more as well. So you'd be making much more. And also this level of structure being a much more considered a stronger or an actual structure point for you. So you have those two necessary points for GBP, JPY. And I'll go take a look at gold as well. If you guys like that, go ahead and like this video. I know we got a lot more people on today. Thank you. I appreciate every last one of you guys. If you are getting value, if you do get some type of education from this, please like the video. It definitely helps. Again, just really wanted to grow this community based off of real value, education, and profit. So appreciate you guys for being on. I really do. Let me see real quick. Double bottom. My man Starry, you on it. Middle part broken. The retest is me. Oh, my man Rome's. I was like, yo, this dude knows exactly what he's talking about. Yeah, what's good, Rome? I appreciate you being on, brother. Yeah, you definitely know exactly what you're talking about. Hey, brother, can you look at CAD CHF? I definitely will. I'll take a look at CAD CHF right after gold. I cut it that day when you give me your lesson. Thank you, my brother. Yep, absolutely, bro. I just didn't want to see you lose more money because I think you bought, if I'm correct, you bought somewhere like up here, and the market was already like all the way down here. So yeah, you definitely saved you a lot of heartache, because that's, how many pips would that have been? I know you got somewhere up here. Yeah, it's about almost that's about 244 pips. Yeah, saved you a lot of heartache with that, but that's good though. That's a lesson well learned, right? Because anytime that you want to experience losses, but you don't want to lose the money, like if that makes sense, you want to make sure that you're making not making the mistakes with live money, because you definitely don't want to lose any profits. But it's good that we were able to identify that mistake early and you experience that, right? Because the psychological aspect within the market is, I think, the hardest part. We hold a trade longer than we should. Like how many times, and I've done it. I'm no different. Let's say we bought from here and your stop loss is here, and we'll actually just do this. So imagine we bought here and my stop loss is here. How many times if we go like this, where's my little replay button at? Oh no. Did I lose a little? Oh, now I can't even make it go forward. That sucks. So for some reason, it didn't let me like make it go forward. But let's say your stop loss is here and you see it continue to push down. How many times have you just moved your stop loss in the hopes that the market is going to come back to at least entry and break? Never do that, right? Because what ends up happening is it'll just continue and just eat at your account. That's why I wanted to help you in that aspect, because that psychological part of trading is very difficult. Being able to, I would say, come to terms with that loss, right? If you can cut losses early, do so. But make sure that you're not holding, like you're not getting married to a trade forever. Let me see. I cut it if I don't that day lose too much, but I take your advice with your good experience. Thank you, my brother. Yep, absolutely no problem. All right, so let me go take a look at gold really quick, which probably not going to give us anything because, again, it is a U.S. bank holiday. But I mean, there's really not much to say on this. This is just going to continue to buy up into these highs here, in my honest opinion. At least to there, obviously, it can reach even higher to these points here. But the first level of structure I'm looking at is literally right there. So there's really not much else we have to do there. On the smaller time frame, like you could pick where your entries would be. You know what I mean? At this point, we don't have to do too much. Like you could even just level of structure there. Like the market does the same thing over and over again. The structure here, even though that was kind of like broken up a little bit. Try to make it, I'll put it there. So the one thing with gold and even indices, they work very, very good with price, right? So all I'm doing is marking up a chart in a trending market, because each one of these points could be used as a potential buy zone. Not so much like down here, because at that point you're already creating lower lows and lower highs to get to that point. But I mean, that could still be a reference for a buy. You can even add your trend lines. And the reason why I'm not doing anything on a higher time frame is because what is there to really do? Like if we go onto the daily, you can't really mark that up. There's no fib that you would need. There's no structure. I don't care about the structure that's all the way down here. Like that's not making me any money. So for me, I'm only going to use what's going to make me money. I want to identify the relevance of the current market. Everything that happened over here, don't care. But what I do want to understand is, okay, well, we're in a bullish market. I want to continue to buy up until, like we looked at GJ, where it's going to find a potential reversal point, which is these 2 points up here. But when we scale down to a smaller time frame, there's still really not much that you would want to add. Again, just to keep your chart clean. Like, I don't care about that trend line. I'm pretty sure you can add your channel and everything here if there was one. Let me see. Oh, I thought we were going to be able to connect some points here. But for this, like in such a bullish or trending market, you're not going to really do too much. You want to just identify your next potential entry points. Where will those entry points be? Levels of structure. You know what I mean? You don't want to overcomplicate it. You don't need fancy tools and equipment. You don't need even though this is my personal strategy, you don't need some shit like this. And I'm telling you, this is my strategy. You don't even need this. You know what I mean? All these moving averages and Bollinger, you don't need any of that. So if you can identify your levels of structure here with gold up until we reach our, I would say, strong PRZ zones, we'll actually just write them down. I would say you're just going to continue to buy gold. You're going to buy gold. You're going to go against the US dollar cross pairs, meaning that if we go take a look at Euro USD, I wouldn't be looking for many sells on that, right? That looks to me like it's going to end up buying, actually. This is still very much in a bullish market, no? Yeah, it is. Oh, and this is another thing, too. So let me actually just do this. So it came back down to retest the initial, because I had a breakout pattern here previously. Nope, this is why I hate deleting my analysis. I always forget how I originally drew it up. So we have a breakout pattern. It already came back to respect this point here, which is a previous high point in a retest of structure. So I do think that Euro USD, the majority of all cross pairs with the US dollar, will continue to start like this. I think will start buying. I think gold will continue to buy as well. I think GU will end up buying as well. It's just the lack of volatility in the market again because it is a holiday. But yeah, gold, you're just looking for strong buys on that. What's your style of trading? Just pure price action. And I do have this weird, funky little strategy right here that helps a lot with like entries and identifying some things. But everything I do is based around price action, support resistance, Fibonacci retracement ratios, or the Fib tool rather. I said Fib ratios, support resistance, trend lines, and candlestick patterns and market patterns as well, like double tops, head and shoulders. I'm really just using the clues that the market leaves behind. I don't want to overcomplicate and say order blocks. I know where the banks are trading. Nobody knows where the banks are trading. I'm telling you that right now. The banks are even using technical analysis because before all these fancy tools and strategies came out, they had to use market structure, price action. They had to identify where the market was going to make the best moves at. The only tools that they had were protractors, a pencil, and the price that was being traded. And they had to use this style of trading. So keeping it very simple, I'm using support. I'll write it down just so that way everybody understands that we're using common sense to trade here. So we're going to say support resistance. Now, if you're like, but what about order blocks, supply and demand, smart money concepts? If you put everything together, where's all those concepts coming to? Everything is revolving around some form of price, right? All we're doing is identifying the most respected, or I would say, okay, so price action, break that down. You're identifying the most relevant level of price and the actions that proceed within them, right? So what are some actions that we have to identify at price? Candlestick patterns, breakout patterns. Is that structure point, like how we said before, a PRZ, a potential reversal point? Has that level of structure been respected before? Because if it has, it might happen again. Or if that level of structure is broken, that's an action as well, because you're not going to get just a weak break of price. You're going to get a pretty significant break of it. So that could be used as a form of action. So everything we're doing, no matter what strategy you're looking at, is always going to revolve around support and resistance. It's just worded differently. Order block, supply, it's the same thing. I know a lot of people might disagree, but it's price. You're identifying a specific level of price. Second, trend lines. Why trend lines? Because this is a form of dynamic support and resistance, meaning that it's moving with the market, right? Because this is a stagnant, this is just giving you one specific price point, but this is actually following the direction of the market. So let's say gold comes back, hits this level of structure and that trend line and that level of structure, that's 2 points of support now, right? The market is now, it can't break through 2 points. I mean, it definitely can, but the analogy I like to use is like when a martial artist is breaking a piece of wood. They could break one. That's just the level of structure. Now, when you add this trend line here, it's now adding 2 pieces of wood, which is going to make it much more difficult for that person to break through. That's exactly how the market works in the sense of structure. So I'm using my trend lines as a form of dynamic support and resistance. What else am I using? I'm using my fibs. Why my fibs? So when you have your Fibonacci retracement tool, right? Now I'm going to use it in this sense, and this is like a weird way to use it because it gave us like 2 moves, but from those lows to these highs, right? If I can identify, I'm at a level of structure, I have a trend line here and a fib ratio. Now that's 3 levels of support, meaning that the market is going to have an even more difficult time from breaking through that point. And what does that mean? you can identify a nice entry from there. Now, I'm obviously not saying we're looking for an entry there, so please nobody go ahead and just immediately buy that. But this could be used as a reference, right? So when I get here, I'm identifying 3 forms of confluence: structure, trend line, and my fib. And what the fib is also doing is identifying, not a secret, it's not a secret, but I just like to call it that, it just sounds cool. But it's like finding secret pockets of price, secret areas of structure, if you will. And if you can match that up with further confluence being levels, a level of structure, like this resist or this support zone, a trend line there, your candles there, then you're just stacking on more confluence in the probabilities in your favor to really make you have a profitable trade. And last but not least, candles. Oh, and market patterns, we'll put that as a bonus, but candles, right? That's important because candles are going to tell you a large, like the behavior and the true direction of what's potentially coming next, right? Because if I start seeing weak-bodied candles here, I start seeing wicks to the downside, I start to see bullish variance, then that means that this structure right now is being respected and it's not going to be broken through. That can give you the idea of a positive entry. So yeah, price action, and then we'll just put this as bonus. I can't type. Market patterns being head and shoulder patterns. Any form of like rising wedge, those are considered breakout patterns, but like things like that, flags, pennants, I'll try to identify those if possible at these points. But yeah, that's my style of trading. Your thought on SP500? I do ICT, but too much to worry about when analyzing. Blah, blah, blah. I'll take a look at that as well. So SP500. I still have no idea why you guys love these markets. I know it makes a lot of money, but it also loses you guys so much when you're wrong. So I'm just still so worried about why so many people are trading indices. I mean, I get it. A lot of people make a lot of money, but if you're new to this, if you don't know what you are doing, you should not be trading this. I'm being extremely honest, because I don't know how many times people are like, yo, I just blew my account. I had a $5,000 account. I placed a 0.01 on Nas or whatever, and they blow it. So be very careful. But I mean, my honest opinion, this is very much bearish. Let me see this on a higher time frame. I mean, yeah, you're probably looking for continued sells on this. And when gold buys, these markets start to sell off too. So, and that it's weird that correlation really hasn't hit yet. But let's see. Now I'm just seeing if there's anything else I could really add to this, because this is a pretty choppy market as well. As of right now, there's not much I would do on this. I know on smaller, like people trade on the smaller time frames. I don't, so I can't really say go do this on the 5 or the 1 minute. I like to swing trade, position trade, so I'm looking at the overall idea, and then I'll identify. And I'm not saying this is where I enter, but let's say I did enter here. Like, I'm not getting out until it reaches this point. You know what I mean? That's my style of trading. So I can't really tell you what to do on a smaller time frame. I mean, if you're really looking at anything, that looks like a weird little head and shoulders pattern on the 5 minute. And then you can identify, I know people love these order blocks, but you even have an order block right there. You know what I mean? So you could probably look for sells on SPX 500 soon. But overall, I think this might end up buying. But with this choppy market, I mean, you could just do something like this as well. Kind of like a weird little range here that's being started. So a break above or below either one of these points will tell you the direction of the market. Hello, bro. Can you look at USD CAD? Yes, I can. All right, let me take a look at USD CAD. Another choppy market. I mean, overall, this looks like a pretty strong sell. And again, I do think that with the dollar being, or gold rather, pushing up higher, and I think the dollar, I'll take a look at the DXY here in a second as well. I think with the dollar losing its initial strength, we're not going to see any bullish movement on USD CAD, especially if we're looking at structure. Again, it's in no man's land in a sense of actual structure. If we look left, there's nothing stopping this from pushing lower. The next real level of structure is here, so I would say you're looking for sells up until that point. Obviously, if broken, continue to sell. So that's my honest opinion there with the USD CAD. You know, I mean, you don't have to have a lot on your chart to really analyze and understand. That's why I find it so weird when I see people, and like, don't get me wrong, again, this is my strategy, but even when I see people with some weird shit like this, and then they have all these different lines, and then they try to identify everything through that madness, it's really hard. You want to be able to do a few things, and that's it. Bank holiday and US today also. Yep, I said that before, brother. We do have a bank holiday. It's Martin Luther King Day, and I'll make sure I'll take a look at you, CAD CHF. I got you. But yeah, you always want to make sure that you're looking at the overall market, right? You don't want to just simply say, oh, is it buying? Is it like, no, look at it, right? We can see that overall, this market, well, not overall because we look from these lows over here to where it is now. It's pretty much in a buy. I mean, you can consider this a buyer's market from those lows to these highs as an overall thing. But if we're looking at the currents of right now, we can see that that was the high. Now we're over here. It's creating some form of selling pressure. So I understand that right now we're in a seller's market. This is not supposed to be an accurate trend line. I'm just showing you the direction, right? So since I'm seeing that this market is currently in a seller's market, I want to now say, well, where is it probably going to stop selling at? I can say here, because actually this would be the entire zone. But again, I don't like my zones that big, so I'm cheating a little bit. We're going to put it perfect right here. So I can see that this is a level of structure that has not been met yet. The market is going to gravitate towards these areas. That's what structure and price is. The market must reach those points in order for it to make its next decision. It's going to get there and say, am I going to break this point? Or am I going to sit here, respect it like I did before, and continue to be bullish? It has to, I wouldn't say has to, because like nothing within the market is guaranteed and nobody's 100% understanding of what the markets even do. We just, I wouldn't say assume, but we put probabilities in our favor and hope for the best. So for this, again, since it hasn't reached this point, I believe USD CAD will continue to sell until we do. So if you're on a smaller time frame, you're like, well, this looks like strong buys. I guarantee you it's not. Especially, look how choppy this is. So obviously, from even that point to here, I wouldn't be trading this. So as far as the overall standpoint, I think it's going to continue to sell again down to these lows. But right now, nothing. Because one, bank holiday. Two, this is just extremely choppy. So you don't want to trade a market that's like this because it doesn't offer real opportunity, right? It's not showing you anything. It's not giving you a clue or a signal of what's going to happen next. So with something like this, I'd say just be careful. Don't trade it as of yet. But the overall standpoint, I think that it's going to be more bearish. And somebody said CAD CHF. Still pretty choppy, but I mean, it's kind of giving you an idea. Look. Just look at it. Look at what the market leaves behind because it tells you everything. Obviously, I'm more focused on this level of structure here, but I'm just drawing it all the way back over here so you can see that there's relevance of this price. But I mean, that's your answer, bro. Nothing complicated. I might even extend, yeah, I'll extend my trend line there. Might have a little bit more room to chill for a bit, but there's your answer, bro. See how easy this is? If we just try to block out the noise, like if we try to block out all those weird strategies, the complication, and you don't need to know math, you don't have to understand Elliott wave, and no. Identify where the market is most likely going to make moves from, and those will be your entry points. Again, you look at this. Within a few seconds, we were able to mark this up. I already know that this is a strong idea because, oh, I should have actually started with that. This is a double bottom. That double bottom has been broken. The middle point of that double bottom has been retested in a sense too, right? This being the entire zone, but again, I don't like my zones being that big because that looks crazy. I see it on other people's charts and I can't take it, so I'm not going to do it for you guys. But look. Break of previous highs, retest of structure and price. You have the third touch of, or I could if we wanted to make it like that, but I like to look at the actual extreme lows and highs, even at the wicks when I'm measuring. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that my trend line is respecting the candlesticks perfectly at that wick low. And the same thing with the connecting trend line there. So right now, I mean, you're looking at CAD CHF potential buys, right? Nothing complicated. Now, I'm not saying go buy this now, but I'm giving you the analysis. Very simple shit. Real simple stuff, guys. You're not overcomplicating your trading. You want to try to make it as simple as possible, right? If you like again, this is the markup now. I want you guys to take a look at this. Very simple, right? We're understanding again a lot of confluence at that point. We have a break and a retest of structure. So that's the blue box. We have our trend line there. If I don't want to sit back and say it's been respected, because if I measure it correctly, it's not there yet. But if I wanted to be a little bit, if I wanted to cheat, I can cut through the wick of there and say that trend line is being respected. Do I do that? No, but I'm gonna leave my trend line originally where I had it. And we have a trend line, the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement ratio as well, right? So we have another form of confluence at that point, right? A lot of the probabilities are stacking in your favor for a potential buy, my man. So that's what you're looking at with CAD CHF. Somebody said Euro GBP. You're buying CAD CHF and Euro GBP. If you're buying Euro GBP, that's cool. I forgot to get rid of our analysis on that, but our take profits too have been hit. If you're buying Euro GBP, that's good. I think it'll continue to buy. Can I take a look at US30? Why are you guys loving these markets? It's so weird. You're buying this. I do think that the majority of all indices, US30, SPX 500, NAS 100, all three of those are literally the same thing. So when we took a look at SPX 500 and I said buys, you're probably going to be starting to look for buys here on US30 as well. The market is not going to just sell out of nowhere. Look at it. And I'm not saying this to sound disrespectful, but this is something that nobody's telling you any of this, in the sense of when you jump onto a chart, like look at it. What is it doing? Is it buying? If so, then you probably want to buy too. Is it selling? If it is, then guess what? You probably want to sell the market. So what can we see about US30 right now? We scale out to a higher time frame. Overall, what is this market doing from these lows to these highs? It is buying. Have we reached a significant level of structure yet, being this resistance point? Not yet. So you're probably going to look for US30, NAS 100, SPX 500. They're all the same. Probably going to wait for those to buy just a little bit more up until it reaches this area. If that's broken, then we know it's going to continue to buy as well. Thanks, bro. You cleared up a lot of things. Kyle, what did I clear up? What questions did you have? And I only asked that because it's good that if you had something cleared up, even if somebody didn't have that question or even knew that they needed that piece of information, let them have it. Let them actually get that information. It's good that, again, that you guys are actually learning how to trade, that you guys are getting some value from this. Now that we actually have a bunch of people on here as well, I do want to say I'm grateful. Thank you guys for being on. You guys could be watching and learning with anybody else that's doing this, but you guys are here with me, and I do appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. So yeah, good morning, everybody. I didn't even look at how many people we had for a second. So that's, I know it doesn't seem like a lot to you guys, but since we just started this, I only had like 8 to 10 people on. We just had about like 32 or almost 40 people at one point. So that's beautiful. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. But yeah, I think that right now for US30, we're going to continue to look at this and continue to buy just a little bit more up until we reach our zone up here. So strong sell zone. But it doesn't mean that we sell yet. Doesn't mean we buy up into this range as well, because there's no volatility. There's no signal in the sense for that. The only thing I would really think is that we have this weird looking inverted head and shoulders pattern. And that's a good indication to see this market continue to push up higher. So I do think US30, again, SPX 500 and NAS 100 will continue to buy. All the same markets. Dave teaches, why are you on here when you got your own live stream going on right now? What? Oh, does he really? That's awesome. That just means that, you know what I mean, people are liking. I just clicked the like button. I appreciate you, Emmanuel. Thank you. I asked about CAD CHF. I said it was moving sideways. Ah, got you. Okay. Yeah, CAD, I'll go back to that really quick as well. And before we do, again, US30 indices, SPX 500, I think that they're going to continue to buy up until this relevant area. So just allow that to happen. Once it reaches this point, then we can start to look for our potential sells. It's important that we all understand that we have to really let these markets develop. We can't just say, oh, if it's going to buy up its out range, I'm going to buy. No. You want to allow an actual clue to be given. I don't see a clue on that just yet. The only clue for right now, because I don't trade indices on small time frames, I'm not just going to get in and get out. I want to look for the best and the higher probability trade. and that's going to be right here for a potential sell. Now, if we do sell from this point, that'll be great because it can come back all the way down to these lows or lower, right? So I think that your best bet is, if you're going to look for a trade on this, I would let this develop and reach these highs. And I say that because I know a lot of you guys don't have, and this is not to sound disrespectful, this is just how it is for a lot of us, like, or a lot of you guys rather, because I do have like a few funded accounts. I have my own personal account since what, 2017, I think. I've had the same account since 2017, which is crazy. I built that up like over that time. It's fucking insane. But for a lot of us, I know it's difficult to have an account with $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 where you should be having that amount to actually trade indices. So the reason why I'm telling you guys to at least trade from up here is it gives you a better chance, even if you have a small account. You don't have to be in and out of the trade. You don't have to be, checking your phone every 5 minutes. If you allow the market to develop and reach a really specific point in price, and then you enter your trade, you use proper risk management, no matter what your size account is, you'll be able to place this as a sell. That's why I'm speaking on that. It's really important. What would be entry signals when looking at a chart? Again, these forms of confluence, like I'll go back to CAD-CHF, right? I'm looking for these forms of confluence. Now, I'm not looking for anything specific. It has to be multiple things, right? It has to be, I'm looking at a level of structure. There has to be confluence at that structure. Is there candlesticks giving me an idea? Like, look at CAD-CHF right now, right? If we're looking at this in a perfect world, we have a lot of buy indications. We're getting a lot of buy signals, if you will. Retest of structure, 61.8, touch a trend line, current bullish engulfing candle on the 4-hour time frame. If this closes, which it'll close in about 43 minutes, if this closes as a bullish engulfing, we scale down to a smaller time frame, we start identifying even further confluence. This could actually be considered a triple bottom. Where is this? There it is. Uno, dos, tres, triple bottom. We're already starting to see that the market is leaving wicks to the downside, and we're getting bullish engulfing candles and bullish variants. Those are all signals that I would look for an entry. It's not just one thing. It has to be multiple. Now, do I have to scale down to the 15-minute or the 5-minute or none of? No, because you're basing your entries off of your analysis, not a time frame. You want to make sure that your analysis is correct. If I say, well, damn, all right, well, look at this. CAD-CHF has been respecting the zone, the structure. If it comes back down there, I already know where I'm going to buy. What is the 5-minute going to tell me more than I need? I'm basing my entries off of the signals and the clues that the market leaves behind, which is trend lines, support resistance, candlestick patterns, and fibs. If all of that comes and meshes together, trust me, there's an entry at that point. I asked about CAD-CHF. I said, oh, I already read that, my bad. And somebody said Gbpjpy. It's probably going to buy too. Oh, probably not. I'm over here looking at that as a potential. Actually, yeah. Look. Entry point. Like look at the chart and you'll get all your answers. Look at that. Now, I don't want my zone that big because that would kind of be it, but look. Broke out of a previous level of resistance. The market's coming back down to correct. This is going to go from there to here, and then you have an entry point. Like it's not difficult. I know a lot of people are like, that's it? That's really, yes. I mean, at least for my style of trading, the way that I've been doing this, I'm basing my entries, my analysis off of levels of structure. I'm identifying the actions at price. Again, this is called price action trading. And if I can identify actions at specific levels of price, I have a trade. Now, again, my zone, I'm not going to leave my zone that big, but I'm just going to draw my fib out. And there you go. And that's it, really. You're not overcomplicating anything within your trading. You're identifying the direction of the market and where you would like to enter from. I think our best bet is to enter from these lows. I'm leaving the trend line there just for, let me make sure it's actually accurate. I'm leaving the trend line like that for now. I'm not going to say if this is the trend line is broken, then no. Because what could end up happening is, let's say this level of structure is respected, also a fib ratio, and then the candle does this. It leaves a wick to the downside, becomes right back up and respecting all that. You have a strong case for a buy. So that is it. US30. I just looked at US30. That is strong buys. But again, you guys got to understand, it is a bank holiday. So you're not looking at US30 right now. You're not looking at any US crosspair for today. It is a bank holiday, so the volatility within the market is not going to be there. So what we could see for today could be all false. Like, again, I'll go to US30, but it could be all false. Look, there's no movement, and it's New York session or leading into it. We got about 10 more minutes, right? No volatility, no movement, no trades. That's not even moving. Is that even open? I don't even think it's open. There it is. Now I'm moving. I was like, is that shit closed? I was like, it can't be closed. But look, it looks like as if this market is literally closed. It confused me for a second. I was like, why is this not moving? So yeah, I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't even look at US30 right now. And again, I don't use a smaller time frame such as the 5 and the 15 minute. Like, those time frames are not great unless you're scalping, unless you're just trying to get for like small moves. I want the whole thing. I want the bigger move. So I think right now, again, just coming back to US30, strong sells from that area. That's my honest opinion. So, yeah. What else you guys got? No more indices. I don't want you guys trading that. And I'm just saying that because, again, it's if you don't have a $10,000 account, you shouldn't be trading it. If you don't know how to mark up a chart or how to enter a trade properly, you shouldn't even be looking at this, because you'll lose more money than make, and you'll get so deterred from trading that you'll put it down and never be successful with it. And I'm not saying, let me not say that, not be successful with it, but you won't give yourself the actual chance to be successful with it because you've lost so much money. It'll discourage you. So just be very careful with trading these markets, guys. Like, I've seen so many people lose. I've lost money trading indices. I've lost a lot of money trading indices at certain points. I've seen a lot of people do it as well. So please be careful. Please be very careful. But again, I think US30 will buy up into our strong sell zone. No entries on that. I'm not trading it, so don't ask about entries. But I do think we have a strong sell zone coming up. So if you're looking at anything, if you're trading this personally, I would think you would trade this as buys up until this point here. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah. Any other questions? Anything else you guys got? Do you have a course or video of your trading strategy? I do not have a course to sell you. I don't have any. I mean, this is what I do for you guys, these lives. So this is your time. Ask questions. Let me know what you need help with. This is what I'm here for. I'm doing these lives to help you guys understand in a direct manner, right? I don't have a course to sell you. The only thing I have is signals, an auto trader, and binary sessions. I have an auto trader set up for students. I have it here where it's on Social Traders Tool or in EA. I have signals that I send out to students and just a chat with them as well. And I trade binary with my students, but I don't have a course, unfortunately. So my bad, but I'm doing all my education here. I'm doing all here. Crypto, yeah, that's actually a good thing we could look at. So I know that I was looking at Bitcoin as potential sells from this point, but we did actually have a strong rally to the upside. Please, everybody, don't get hyped. Do not get hyped when everybody's starting to say go buy crypto and this new NFT. Don't do it. We do not do it. This is not, well, I would assume that this level of structure is not going to be broken. Bitcoin had a strong rally. Kudos. It's going to come back down. I don't think that right now any cryptocurrency is going to be worth investing into. So you are not, I repeat, you are not investing into anything right now. And that's just my honest opinion. If everybody's like, yo, it's at 20,000, that's cool. But wasn't this just almost at 70? That's a big deal. I don't care about 20,000. What is this market in? A strong bearish market. What do you not go against? The initial trend and direction of that said market. You are continuing to look at sells on Bitcoin. I do personally believe that if it continues to sell, we're coming right back to this point, which is about $10,000. And if not, we can even come back to like the $4,000 and $2,000 handle. Now, a lot of people call me crazy, but I've literally said we were not going to serve, or this was not going to last, and that the technical analysis, the price action that cryptos were leaving behind were showing strong sells. Everybody said I was crazy, but you can't call me crazy when the market leaves those clues behind. Head and shoulders pattern, it was completed. The market came back to retest that neckline, broke lower, and has never recovered since. We're creating lower lows, lower highs. This market is going to continue to sell. That's my honest opinion. Doesn't necessarily mean it is a fact. Next thing you know, crypto soars up to like fucking 500,000, and I was completely wrong. But this is what I can see based off of just price action. This market is obviously not it's respecting, not breaking through this level of structure. Crypto's another market, or all cryptos, but specifically here, since we are on Bitcoin, I would think that, these cryptos always use price as a strong reference point. So I don't think that Bitcoin is going to last that much longer. Turn to gold. I was on gold. I looked at gold. You're not doing anything on gold yet. This market is stuck. Well, not stuck, but the market is just very, the volatility is not there as of yet. I wouldn't really be looking at this as of yet, but that's my idea with gold. I would think that we have a buy range in the making. And if it drops lower, then you don't buy. But this is my analysis here on gold. I would think that this will continue to buy. You're in a strong buyer's market. You're not going to look for strong sells in a buyer's market. So this is my analysis. I'll make sure I'll actually add the charts, the links to them, and the markups in our Discord. If you guys are not a part of the Discord, you guys can actually join our free section of the Discord, where I'll drop the analysis for you guys on charts. I'll also, as you can see here, I sent the signal out last week. Last week wasn't the best because it kind of got choppy for a bit. Those yen pairs just came out of nowhere. So what I will be doing is, since this week is looking a little bit more better in the sense of like volatility wise, I'll be making sure that I send you guys more signals. And this is for everybody here. This isn't just for legacy students. This is for everybody on the lives. This is just showing my appreciation to you guys for, joining these live sessions and really helping me grow this community. So I'll make sure that I add these charts to the Discord. If you want the link, it is in the description of this live. So make sure that you go ahead and join, so that way you guys can stay up to date with everything. What time frames do you mark up your charts? And time frame for entry looks like daily, 4 hour, and enter what time frame. So like I said before, it doesn't matter about the time frame when you enter. Don't worry about the time frame. The time frame is irrelevant when it comes to entry. On contrary to belief, everybody's like, yo, I don't know how you can enter off the 1 hour or the 5th. Like, why not? What is a time frame going to tell me more than my analysis? So I'm marking up all time frames. You have to look at everything. I can't just go on the 5 minute and be like, oh, that's it. No, because you're going to lose a lot of fucking money. But what you are going to do is understand on the higher time frame, is this market bullish or bearish? Well, okay, I see it's bullish. Is this time frame telling me bullish? Is this time frame? You have to use them all. If you use just one, you're wrong. You have to use each time frame. So I'm marking them all up. If I don't necessarily have to mark up the weekly or the monthly, I'm still taking a look at it, because I need to understand the overall movement, the overall idea. I am only going to get that on the higher time frames. I'll scale down to the smaller time frames, such as the 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, and put in my detailed work. Meaning, okay, well, I can't see these levels of structure on the daily, weekly, and monthly, but on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, I can. And those time frames, the 4 hour and the 1 hour, is where you're going to mark up your chart in the sense for entries. You're not placing a trade based off of a time frame. You're placing your trade based off of your analysis. So again, right now I can see that if this is in fact, let's say gold does use this area as a potential buy range, I don't need a time frame to tell me to enter, because I already know where I'm looking to buy from, which is this level of structure. I don't have to go to the 5 minute, oh, well, I see that. No, you're just overcomplicating things. I know the level of structure I'm looking for, or the entry area that I'm looking for, and the confirmations that I need, everything that I have drawn up on this chart. The last thing I would need is candlestick patterns, or the behavior of candlesticks in general, right? I can see that currently this market's being respected, that level of structure, that fib, that trend line, not so much on the third touch or this touch here, but we're getting some respect around that area. What more do I need? I don't have to have the 1 minute tell me that once I get this candlestick and that, and then I cross over this moving average, and you got to talk to Leprechaun at the end of the rainbow to get the pot of gold. No, you identify where you're going to look to enter from. That's your analysis, and you allow the market to leave those clues behind. Those clues is everything here. Do you have your structure? Yes. Do we have a fib ratio? Yes. Do we have our trend line in place? Yes. Now, what else can we identify? Are the candles showing some form of respect? Currently, yes, they are. So what we could do is find even more, I wouldn't say too much more, but candlestick behavior, Do we get a bullish engulfing from here? Do we get any form, like anything bullish? Do we get it from this point? If I start to see those clues, I'm looking to enter. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So you market up all time frames, if you can, if you must. You don't necessarily, I mean, you want to take a look at them all, but sometimes you're not going to have a markup on the weekly or the monthly because it's probably moving in such a way that you need a smaller time frame to identify the moves more clearly. So yeah, so you're marking them, or you're looking at all time frames, and you're making sure that you identify your entries based off of your analysis, not a time frame. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm just being real with you. You know what I mean? Because I see a lot of people that are like, yeah, you have to use a 5 minute. Do you? Or are you on the 5 minute because you want an entry for 10, 20, 30 pips? I don't want that. If I can go from here, let's say from these lows to these highs, that's almost 200 pips. I don't want my 35 pip trade from here on the 5 minute, 15 minute, and that's it. No. Because if I can catch that entire move, I'm going to. And if it goes up higher, let's say from here to here, my entries, I don't have to do anything else on this market for the rest of the week. I could just let that market just make me money, right? So that's why I'm very adamant about using your analysis as your entry. Don't worry about a time frame. You'll understand what your entry is when you put all of these confluences together. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that helps. If it did, let me know. And again, I appreciate every last one of you guys and ladies for being on as well. Definitely appreciate it. But yeah, any other questions, any other markets you guys want to take a look at, feel free to let me know. Definitely want to make sure that I'm helping and assisting to the best of my abilities. What time is it? Okay, so we have about 30 minutes for this candle to close. So let's say on gold, we do get this candle to close a little bit more bullish, or even leaving a wick behind, some rejection. Let's actually do this really quick in case nobody knows. So wicks equal rejection. Anytime I start to see wicks at a level of structure, or my confluence rather, the retrace ratio, the trend line, the structure, all of it, that's telling me that the market is having a really hard time from breaking above or currently below. Right now, and again, we have to wait for this candle to close. I want to see the behavior in the next candle as well. When is this 4 hour close? Okay, yeah, same time. Okay, so what I'm looking to see is how this 4 hour closes, how the 1 hour candle is going to close and the new one opens, right? If we start to see that the next candle is becoming much more bullish, let me get rid of that little extend right thing really quick. And we start to see exactly what the candle is actually doing now, all right? You see how it came to these lows, but it's struggling from breaking below and is starting to leave a wick to the downside. What that's showing is that sellers are trying their hardest to break through, but it can't. It's not working. And buyers are too strong and taking over again. So I'm going to look at gold as potential buys from this area soon. Not yet. Please, nobody go ahead. Oh, he said buys. No, there's no confirmation on that just yet. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Hopefully that enlightens you guys a little bit more. And what's good, everybody? Damn, we got some people on today. We're definitely growing. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Helps out a lot. Because the more value, the more people we get on these calls, the more that this community grows, that we grow it together, the more valuable it's going to be for everybody. Even if you're not a student, if you're not even in our group, doesn't even matter. You'll be able to still get a lot of value. So I got a lot of things planned out for you guys, whether it's students or not. I want to make sure that I'm impacting on both spectrums and really helping out everybody. So appreciate you guys for being on this morning. But yeah, any other questions? Any other markets you guys want to take a look at? I know there's a delay, so I'm just looking at the comments, seeing if anything pops up. But yeah, if not, if you guys are good for today, we'll conclude here in a bit, because I do have to trade binary with students around 9:30. So I give myself a little bit of break so that way I can go onto the binary session fresh and ready for students. But yeah, if you guys have anything, feel free to let me know. If not, I'll see my legacy students right after this, so that way we could trade some binary. If you guys do not have it for students, if you guys don't have a binary account, definitely let me know. I'll make sure that I set up a link for you guys, so that way you guys could actually trade a demo account before you get started, if you would like to get used to it, and then we can go from there. But yeah, any questions? EA, Euro AUD, or Euro CAD? That's nothing. You ain't doing nothing on that. So when you see a market like this, don't even look at it. What is binary trading? Binary trading is basically like how do people call it? HFT, high frequency trading. Is basically like you're using the Forex markets to place a trade, a buy or sell, and you're trying to win that trade within a specific amount of time. So let's say I buy from here. I would like for Euro AUD to just buy just a little bit within, let's say, 60 seconds. If it buys up into any point within that time, I win. It's just a faster way of trading Forex, if you will. But yeah, I trade that with my students. But if you're talking about Euro AUD, Gordy, you're not doing anything on this right now. This is not something I really suggest you would personally trade. This is way too choppy. There's nothing that the market is leaving behind. I mean, even on a higher time frame, I really wouldn't look at this too much because that's a really strong consolidation. I mean, we are very much bullish, so you can get that idea. On this time frame, it does seem as if though might be setting up for a head and shoulders pattern. But as of right now, you're not looking at this. You're not doing anything. This is not a market you want to trade at all. So, if you're talking about Euro AUD, or are you talking about Euro AUD or Euro AUD CAD? AU CAD? Wait, no. Euro AUD. Euro. Oh, I read that completely wrong. I'm looking at two different things at the same time. I gotta put my contacts in. So you were talking about Euro AUD. I don't know why I was talking about thinking about something completely different. I confused myself for a second there. Yeah, again, even with Euro AUD, this is still very choppy. I really wouldn't do too much on this, brother. I do like that idea, though. I like the fact that that trend line's broken, retested. I mean, that could give you a potential idea. And then we're just going to cheat a little bit. I would say that's a retest of structure. You can see the structure, but again, this would be the entire zone. I don't want my zone that big. That's crazy. So I'm just going to cheat. I'm going to make my structure just look nice and simple on the chart, but we understand that this would be the entire, that's the zone. But it did come back to retest the structure and also the trend line. So if you even wanted to do something like this, you can. That's probably your best bet. That's it. What about US30? Wow. I literally went over those two to three times already. I still have no idea why you guys want those, but US30, they're all buys, bro. NAS 100, US30, SPX 500. If you're looking at one of them, you're looking at them all. So me looking at US30 is the same as looking at SPX 500 and also NAS 100. I think that we're leading into a sell zone on indices. So yeah, Marco. But I'm not going to go heavy into this again. I already did this like 3 times. My bad. I know you're just getting on. I apologize. But I do think that we're looking at strong sell zones up until that point. So it's buying for now. But I'm not saying go buy it because there's no entry on that. So please. Thanks, Jay. Blessed day, peeps. 1 a.m. in Aussie. Yeah, I know you guys are out. Yeah, I know you're all the way out there, but I appreciate you being on, bro. I really do. I appreciate every one of you being on as well. Yep, no problem, Marco. I appreciate you, man. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll conclude for today. I do got to jump on the binary session with students, and I also got to see if there's any signals that we could place for them as well. I know one of my traders, I have 2 traders that are helping and assisting. They just got back fully back from their holiday, so we'll be able to try to find some trades, try some signals for students. If there is any signals, like if we have 4 or 5 signals that are sent out to students, I'll go ahead and share 1 or 2 of those so that way you guys can make profits with us as well. All those signals that I do give out for you guys here in the analysis section are part of our big lot size signals for VIP students. So you're not just getting some random signal, you're getting something of quality. So make sure that you understand that if you go ahead and place these trades, there is a potential for a lot of profit. So make sure if you're not a part of the Discord that you take the link in the description so that way you could join. You'll be able to stay up to date with everything as far as our signals, our analysis, when I go on live, and I'll start making more YouTube content as far as why I entered a trade from some of our previous signals or from one of our auto trades, and really educate in that sense as well so that way you guys understand. Where do we get a demo for binary? Just hit me up. Facebook, Instagram, Smoke Signal, Morse code, anything you need. I should have all my contact in the description as well, but if not, let's go ahead and do this. Just JM on everything. So if you want to go ahead and add me, send me a message. That way I can help you out directly. Go ahead and do so. I'll make sure that I assist to the best of my abilities. But yeah, we'll conclude for today. I appreciate every last one of you guys. We are growing this community in a beautiful way. If you guys can, before you leave, if you have not, please hit that like and subscribe button. I know it sounds cheesy, but I mean, I'm really trying to give back as much value and consistency and profits to you guys. And I really want to make sure that I'm doing that for as many people as I possibly can. As you see here, I'm just giving you guys my time and all of my value. So it's a very simple and easy thing for you guys to do for me. So that way I can make sure that I give you even more future value as we continue this. So if you guys can, please go ahead, like, subscribe. It means a lot. But yeah, with that being said, we'll go ahead and conclude for today. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Legacy students, we'll be trading binary here in a little bit. Just give me a little bit of time. I'll cook some breakfast, eat some real quick, and then we're going to jump on a binary call and try to make some profits with that. And we'll also have our 2 traders manning our auto traders and looking for any potential trades. But I don't think there's going to be too many because it is a bank holiday. So we'll see how everything works out. But appreciate every last one of you guys. Yep. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate you guys. So yeah, we'll conclude. I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. Legacy students, I'll see you guys here in a little bit. Thanks, guys.